Happy Friday, everybody. Oops, I dropped my glasses. Happy Friday. How are you doing? Hope your week has gone good and you're ready to have a good time. It's all in the middle of Mardi Gras, and we're looking at what is there to do this weekend. And so I'm just thinking, I don't know if I want to go to the parade because I don't know if I want all those people, but I've gone to the one in Mobile. I've even been to the one in Las and New Orleans, and both of them I liked. It's just that there are a lot of people, and I think I got hit a couple of times in the head, and and people grab stuff away from you. So there's a whole bunch of fun to it, but you also have to be on the cautious side. But I have always had a good time and thought it was certainly something to do, something fun. But there's a couple of them this weekend, so I may consider going to them. But part of the problem, of course, is parking, and then having long walks to wherever you parked your car. But we're going to see what happens. But today I wanted to talk about the day. And I said I wanted to make it simple. I've had a pretty busy week of, meetings, boards, everything. And I said, you know what? I just want to chill out. What if we just live in our day? Good morning, Joe. Good morning. Good morning. If we live in the day that we're given and not try to constantly make more of things and make less of things, just live. Enjoy each opportunity, each moment, each session. Good morning, Calithia. Is that you? Yes, it is. Good morning. Good morning. I had to put on my little glasses. I dropped these and scratched them, but they still see pretty good. But anyway, so I want to talk about day, your day. Once this day is gone, it becomes our history. And so sometimes we have to go back to history to bring us up to date as to where we are, how we're feeling about ourselves, how we're feeling about the history that was created, that we have, what I would call sustaining, remaining essence of, things that have been put into law, things that have been taken away, things that have been, and that might be law too, but just things that have been just taken away or things that have changed from our history. And sometimes we do need to change. We need to recognize that we need to change. And we certainly are people that sometimes live in our past long enough to get scared to run forward to our present. I always tell people who have dreams and the dreams are really scary is, sometimes you have to deal with the dream. What was it? What was it about? What was the trouble? And the other time you say, oh, stay away from that right there. But anyway, I wanted to go back in history today to just talk about a little bit of our Black history because certain things happened on February 9th in various years. And so the first thing it talks about Paul Laurence Dunbar, and I spoke of him the other day, who was a poet, a novelist, and a playwright. He passed away on February 9th, 1906. But he was only 33 years old. So can you imagine what ailments were out at that time? What took him out? Because there were many men and women of color, especially men, that left life early. They left at a tender age because of maybe it was poor working conditions or no work at all, or high blood pressure, or all the things that we pretty much can know of now, diabetes, all those things. So anyway, I was just wondering. I didn't investigate it this morning. I just looked at some of the things that happened on February 9th in our history. Also, it says that there was a national and internationally known person named Bernard Harris. And I kind of vaguely remember this. And that was in 1995, not, wasn't happy about that much of science. But in 1995, he became the first African American to take a spacewalk. Okay, we didn't. You don't even think about that. They always talk about certain people that made it onto the moon. But they never talk about that there was a first in this instance, and that was on February 9th, 1995. And then the last one I have for today, because I'm not going to give you too much, I'm not going to overload. The last one I have is Satchel Paige. He became the first African American inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, for the longest time, there was the Negro Leagues, and they were never, allowed to be a part of the mainstream baseball teams. Even if they played them and beat them, they were still considered to be less. And so I just thought these were just kind of highlighted the day of what happened on a day, and it happened to be February 9th. So anyway, I have a poem too, and the poem, there's no author on the poem. It doesn't give ownership, but I got it off the internet, so it truly is not mine. So I will do that kind of disclaimer, and it talks about each day. And so each day, thank you for the journey, the special time we've shared. Elegant and awful, no detail would be spared. We know the destination and try to drag our feet, try to savor every moment and make each day a treat. We gladly watch a movie knowing it will end, but life we look at differently as we count each day we spend. Don't forget this journey full of stories we can tell if we remember what's important through living each day well. And so I thought that was really cute because even though it referenced history, telling stories, doing things together, making history, we make history, it still says live each day well. And I said, I don't want to make this a day that I have a long word. I wasn't interested in doing it a long word today and teaching you a new vocabulary, but I said, let's go simple. Let's go back to Eden. Ain't nothing there but some fruits and the trees and the nuts and the birds and the bees. So there you go. So today our word is day, just simple as it sounds. Day. Good morning, Maurice. How are you doing? Good to see you in the space. Today our word is day. It's so simple. We will be done quickly today. And what is a day? And it says day is a 24 hours as a unit of time, reckoned from one midnight to the next. It says corresponding to the rotation on the Earth's axle. Simple, right? I remember getting that right when I was in elementary school. Probably forgot it in between then and now, but I remember it. But it says that when we look at our lives, we look at it in the space of a day. What happened today? What happened yesterday? What do we expect to happen tomorrow? And so we don't always look at our lives in its, totality. We look at it kind of piecemeal sometimes. We just kind of break it down to what it means to us. And so when I break this word down, I'm first going to ask you, are you stuck on today or yesterday? Are you stuck? Are you stuck on thinking, I've lost that, I've lost him, I lost her, are we stuck on our past? Or are we current on understanding that the past is the past? Yesterday was yesterday, but today is today. What's that? These glasses are horrible. Declare. Is that right? Declare, yes. Yeah, we can declare. We can declare that today is today. Those are, I scratched them and they don't work anymore, so I need to toss them. But yeah, declare is a good word for today, declaring that today is today. You can't change yesterday, but also you can be involved in how your day unfolds. You can make plans. Just like the other night, I got to see Joan at an event. We planned that. We planned it, but we planned it before the day actually occurred. But then when the day came, we got an opportunity to talk and get a quick hug. So sometimes that's how life is. Our day may be filled with small kind of you know opportunities to see something, to do something, to be a part of something. That's how life is. That's how life is. So when we move down the word this morning and we break it down, the day does not start without a dawn. There's a dawn in it. Okay. The day emerges, to us and become more revealing to us itself. If you even look on my post this morning, it had the sunrise coming up. It didn't have the sunset, it had it coming up, because the sunrise is an indication that the daylight is coming higher and higher and higher, and eventually we'll be able to see without lighting inside our houses. Well, maybe unless they're too dark. And outside, we don't need that. It just makes it so we can see to get around much easier. Maurice Day, doing all you can. Okay, I love it. I love it. Doing all you can. I may have to use that. Okay. But I told you ahead of time. I have dawn. What does anybody else have? Delectable. Oh, I love that. I have dawn. It says dawn is the first appearance of light in the morning of the time of its appearance. You can't do that but smile, because if any of us or you have had opportunity to see the sunrise, it is absolutely beautiful. Especially if you're at the beach, you're in the mountains, you're at a shoreline of some sort, maybe in a high rise. I remember being in a high rise in Europe and seeing the sun come up, and I was like, wow, look at that, because it seemed like I was high as it was. That made me laugh. I said, okay, I'm up a little high. I never thought about the fact that what happens if the bottom of the building collapses. I didn't think that. I wasn't afraid, but I don't know. So the the dawn talks about being the daybreak, the sunrise, the day as it appears, the morn, MORN, the morning, and the dawning. Because sometimes we can think about even some of the songs that were written, and it may talk about the dawning of the light, the coming up. It is a part. It's a significant part of our day. Even if we don't see it coming up, we know it is, because we can look outside and see that it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And so we know the more it appears, the more we realize that the day and the time is moving on to make the day be whatever it is determined. That's good too. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you. Y'all are getting this. Now, when I move on in the word, my A, now it's just as Sandy's A, Winnie's A. It's for my attitude about my day. For sometimes we can be very angry through our day. We can be frustrated. We can be, hurt. We could be depressed. We could be a lot of things that form the attitude that we may have. We may not talk with anybody. Awake. That's good. Because when we are up, we are awake, definitely. Like the sun, when it's up, it's awake. It's letting you know, hey, I got all this beautiful rays just for you. But when our attitude forms how sometimes our days will go, the action, that's good, and adjust. All those great. So sometimes we have to realize that our attitude it sets the tone. It says attitude is a feeling. It's a emotion toward a fact or a state. We can be in the state of mind, or we can have a fact that was given to us that sets us up for how we're feeling. Could be an anticipation too. That's good. That is good too. We could anticipate our day. We could really look at how we accept our day. We could look at how active we want to be in our day, or what actions we need to take to make the day pleasant, amenable, whatever. We can do that. We can look at it, how it makes us take on new things. Every day before I present, something in the Are You Stuck series here, I go through, okay, what has affected me? What has tickled me? What has influenced me? What has encouraged me? And that's sometimes how I come up with my word for the day. And so this morning it was just, well, I've had a busy week. This day I wanted to be simplified. And so that's how I came up with the word for today. But attitude talks about it being its stance, its posture, its carriage, its behavior, its demeanor, its presence, its attention, poise, conduct, body, language, body, and the language of the body. Because they said the body has a tendency to show how you might be feeling or you might be thinking, the body by your behavior too. It says, and it also talks about it being the air that you have around you, almost like your presence. And lastly says it's the look, the overall look of what it is that is going on in your day. I think one of the things I used to always ask people is, well, how's your day going? And sometimes they would give me the short answer, and sometimes it was an opportunity for them to give me the full answer. Not a good day. Something's happened to this and this and this, and I'm low on money, my bills are due. You may hear some stuff if you wait on listening to people who tell you how they really feel, So, and the last one, see, we're almost done, is my why. And my why is my yes or my yesterday. If I'm going to be caught up on today, getting involved in yesterday or worrying about things I can't control from yesterday, then I'm not going to enjoy my day very well. So I have to separate what portion of the day will I contribute to a little bit of that, but keeping it current. Sometimes I talk to people and they said, but, so many times, but I tried to, and they won't. And I always try to tell people, especially my younger people, you cannot, no matter what, you cannot in any way change people, change their positions, change how they feel. It is what it is. It is what it is. And yield is a great word. Yearn, yield, wonderful words. Wonderful. I have yes. I have yes to my yearning. I have yes to my possibly needing to yield. Sometimes we have to step back. We have to hold off doing anything. So yes, it says that it's an okay. It's an okay to be in your day and be comfortable with it, or be in your day and be troubled, but realizing that you're troubled, that isn't anything that you can't do. You can do what you do. You can do what you do. So it says as we use it as a point of expression, it's in agreement. You've agreed to do something if you say yes. And the yes obviously is an okay, a yeah, an all right, a positive. It's certainty. It's absolute. It says it's absoluteness. It's when you say, indeed, I will do something. And it's unquestionably in agreement. So day really sets us up to look at how the day comes up to us in terms of its rise, its dawning. It kind of feeds us on what our attitude should be for the day. And we can look at all the other words that were brought up, how we adjust, how we anticipate the day, how we really look at, whether we accept what's happened to us or not, it still happened, whether we yearn for something else to happen, or that we look at it on the side of, well, you know what, I need to yield back from that. I need to get back because it is no longer to my good side. It's to my bad side, my detriment. So we need to talk about how well our yes comes in. If it doesn't come where we can, learn from it by yielding or yearning or really saying yes to something, then we almost have to realize that our day may be changed in us thinking about and trying to do things that may give us more difficulty and less opportunity to act into just living, and I think that was how I summed up today's session. How, we just need to live for our day. Every day we have, it's an opportunity to live. We don't know what's going to happen. If we did, we would be probably petrified if we knew all the things were going to happen to us, because there are many things out there in the world that are negative. So we don't need the negative side of life. We need as much as we can be on positive. And I always used to think about that as I was growing up, God creating us in such a way that he shielded us from not needing to know what was next. He did, but we didn't. He does, but we don't. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. But listen, I hope you're going to have a wonderful weekend. I want you to look at your weekend as living the day as it is, creating what you want in your day. One of the things I did, and I'm gonna get up and show you, is I went and purchased myself some flowers the other day. Hold on one. I'm coming. I purchased these beautiful flowers, and I didn't think they were going to open up, but they did. And I have to tell you a secret of what I learned to make flowers open up and stay a while. You have to put them in water with such things as, I think it said a tablespoon of bleach, a tablespoon of sugar, and a tablespoon of vinegar. And you stir it up the water should be room temperature, and you stick them in there. Beautiful. But anyway, I want you to have a good weekend. If you don't do anything else, hit the share button and let somebody else know. There's folks out here trying to, are you stuck? No, I'm not stuck. That's what we're going to do. I'll see you on Monday with a new word. It'll be longer. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.